Aries, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you for August 2026. Hope you're doing well. Today's reading is going to be mirror work, and it's a reading that I've done a couple times on this channel. It's a powerful reading. It's probably out of all my personal readings the favorite one, and I do it when I do it as a personal reading. It's extended, so it's a bit longer than this one, but this is just sort of a short version of it. And I've decided that when I offer a reading taken from the list of my personal readings on my website, carolecares.com, I'm going to offer you that reading at a significantly discounted price. So I'll leave the link below in my description box and also in my comment section if you're interested in looking at that reading and seeing if it's something you might be interested in getting done as a personal reading this month. It's just for this month. So let's begin with your reading. We're going to be looking, mirror work is something that you can use when you're trying to understand what's going on with your internal system. Right? And there's something coming up. It's something with a belief system. It could be a memory, some kind of emotion. There's something coming up, right? So we use mirror work, and the universe is so good at this. It'll reflect. There's something in your conscious world that the universe will reflect back to you, and it's a mirror as to what's going on in your inner world. And you really have to be a detective sometimes as to try to figure out what this means. And so we use mirror work when we're trying to connect to our own unconscious and figure out, okay, what needs healing. And so start watching, build awareness around what's happening in your world. How are people responding to you? Are your pets acting weird? What's going on with them? What's going on in our own systems, right? Like a week ago, I had this real big pain when I turned my neck, and I knew it was a block, right? I knew that my ego self was blocking a memory that was trying to come up. That was my first big clue that, okay, here comes a memory. I just know my body now. So if you have children, how are they responding to you? Sometimes when people say things and it's just an odd sentence or an odd line, and you go, what the hell did somebody, and it just bothered you, right? And you think about it a lot, and you keep spinning it in your head, and it's like, well, you're supposed to, that's for you to do detective work on that, right? But your ego self sometimes comes in and says, no, it's nothing, just forget about it. And when you're told to forget about it, that's when it's like, no, I can't forget about this. And so it's really time to, it's critical to find and try to excavate, what's going on in our lives and what's the universe trying to mirror back to us. And so I'm going to be using the Erenberg Tarot for your outer world, your conscious, what you're consciously aware of, your conscious world. And then I'll use the Curious Travels for your inner world, right? What's hidden from you, your unconscious, what you don't know. And then I'll get a message from the universe. And then also, how can you begin to heal this? So let's start off with your outer world. One card for Aries for their outer world. And you got the, if I can get it, it's a 3 of Swords is your outer world. That's what's going on with you right now. The other card. It's coming, I promise. One more card. Well, not one more, but I need a second card here for Aries. Might have to cut some of this shuffling out. There we go. The 8 of Swords for you finally came out behind it. You're sitting in a really tough spot here emotionally. Let's try one more here. I'm heating up in this house right now as I'm doing this last reading. 9 of Pentacles. Or sorry, 9 of Cups. In reverse. It's interesting. I'm just like, I don't know why I had to tell you that I'm heating up. There's something really going on here for you. Yeah, okay. We'll talk about it in a minute. Let's look at your inner world now. That's your mirror. And it's mirroring something. And this is what it's mirroring right here. One card. Please, let's start with one card here. Here we go. 10 of Pentacles. Another card. Knight of Swords in reverse. And one more card here. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. A message from the universe. I think this one came first. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. How can you begin to heal this? And I'll also recommend some videos at the end for you. One final card for Aries. How can they begin to heal this? There we go. The Hermit. All right. So now I said to you that, it looks like you're sitting with you're sitting with 3 of Swords. A lot of pain. You're in a lot of pain right now. And I also I see one teardrop coming here, and I'm wondering if sometimes you're in so much pain that you can't even cry, and oftentimes it's because there could be a big fear underneath that's just covering everything. You're almost like, sometimes we can feel like if I start to cry, I'm going to lose control, or it's going to swallow me up, right? It's like this big wall of grief that you're needing to get to. You're needing to get to some grief. And I'm not sure you're struggling with it because you're really feeling trapped or tied up, or you don't know what to do with it. It's just you can't get it out. You can't get your grief out. There's so much. Like I said, I think oftentimes we can feel that about grief when we know there's some crying to do. It just won't come out. And you're feeling quite tied up, like you don't know what to do, and you feel like you're stuck. You're really stuck. I mean, you can get out of this, but you feel like you can't get out of this. And then you have the 9 of Cups I'm saying Pentacles. 9 of Cups in reverse. In an upright position, this individual has, 9 is not the end of the cycle. 10 is. 10 of Cups is this full range of emotions. But he's decided, you can tell the way he's really focused, and he's holding his hands like this. It's like, I've decided I'm not feeling anymore. I'm done with this. And this is in reverse here. And so to me, that tells me that there's this real fear on your part to take that last cup. And I've already said that, even though you know you need to grieve, even though you know like you're feeling so trapped you don't know what to do about it, it's just like I don't want to go there. There's some real resistance or some fear of going there. And so this is a mirror. What needs healing here? There's a reason why you don't want to go to that grief. Maybe we'll figure it out. But that's what you have to heal. Like you have to heal something from your childhood, something from your adolescence that's sitting in your unconscious. Try to figure out, I got to go to that first because I need to feel this. I need to get to my grief. And so let's look at your 10 of Pentacles is your first card. In your unconscious, this is what you're not aware of, but this is what's being reflected back to you right now. So 10 of Pentacles speaks about, get these 3 generations of elephants here. And this is a generational card. This talks about generational trauma. There's some trauma here. You've got some trauma from childhood that needs healing. And I think there's a real resistance on your part to looking at it, right? And oftentimes when there's a memory coming up from our childhood that we need to heal, we will feel the emotions first, and then we'll get to what it is. But you're stuck at the emotion part, right? But because there's a memory coming up here, traumatic memory, because you have the Knight of Swords after this trauma card, and the Knight of Swords, the knights in my deck are what I call freedom fighters, and this particular knight holds the sword of truth, the sword of authenticity. This is an adolescent part. And I think when you were an adolescent that you wanted nothing more to be authentic. You wanted to be you. You wanted to be free. You wanted to be able to do what you wanted to do. But I don't think you were allowed. I'm going to say you were held back when you were younger. Really held back from being you. And I think there's a lot of anger here. There's a lot of anger that's coming up here. You're angry at something. And it's related to trauma from your childhood. You're angry. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles right here. The Queen is our feminine side. She's, we all have a masculine and a feminine side. Has nothing to do with your gender. The feminine side to us is, has everything to do with our emotions, has everything to do with getting in your body, because our emotions live in our body. They don't live up here. That's why most of us spend a lot of time in our mind. That's our ego self, our masculine side, because we don't want to touch our emotions. But she is buried in your unconscious. And she has the pentacle. She's holding the pentacle. She's holding your body. And so I think when you were younger, because of this trauma and because of the anger around it, you weren't able to feel. You weren't allowed to feel to show your anger. I can say that right now. And because of that, your true self, your authentic self, did not come out, couldn't come through. Because if our emotions are not allowed, then we don't feel like there's a part of us I'm not allowed to show, I'm not allowed to reveal, to use. It's me. And that was buried here. And I think that's why right now you have this grief. I said that you were trapped, and I feel like this night you were trapped when you were younger. You had these emotions that needed to come out because of this trauma, and you weren't allowed to use them. And so they became trapped in your system. And what's fascinating about this is that you've got this grief that has to come out. And then, and you know that right now, but you just can't get it out. And then if you go over here to your unconscious, this says when you were younger that you have anger here, sitting here. Well, guess what? Your anger is a cover-up for this grief that needs to come out. Anger is a secondary emotion. And when we can get to our anger, when we can express our anger in a grounded way, I do it on my computer. I tell those people what I think, and I type and type and type, because I wasn't allowed to use my anger when I was younger. So this is a reading that I've experienced before for sure. Once you can express that anger, because that is what's blocking your grief right here. That's what's blocking it. So definitely a need for you to get to your anger. Now, the Seven of Pentacles is the message here. Seven of Pentacles speaks about an upright position. It speaks about this individual that's done this hoeing. He's holding on to his hoe, right? He's piled up all these pentacles all his life. And he just looks at it and says, when he's all done, he's like, is this it? Is this everything? This is in reverse for you. So the message is you've given up. You have given up. And I think when you were a young child, you gave up. Or an adolescent, you gave up, right? But I'm just going to pull one more card for you that goes with this. You've given up. The message is, you have the Nine of Pentacles here. The Nine of Pentacles talks about another pentacle, right? Getting into your body. And this particular individual in an upright position spends a lot of time training this falcon, right? Time and energy, and because it's what it likes to do. It's what's important to them. And right now you have no idea. You don't know. You've given up and you don't know what's important to you. But it's time for you. The message is, what's important to you? Bring awareness to, bring real self-awareness. What matters in life to you? What is worth focusing on right now? And I'm going to say, it's this anger you need to get to. That's what's worth focusing on. Let's start, because maybe you're somebody that gets angry at people at the wrong time and the wrong places and wrong people. And that's because you have some ungrounded anger and it just spews out on people, right? Until you can ground it. If you can, and you ground it by journaling about, that's how I ground my anger. And so how do you heal this? Well, here's the Hermit card, beautiful healing star there. And it's dark, but there's a little bit of light there. I like to see this as, maybe a Hermit cards, first of all, is, you gotta, this Hermit is going inwards. You got to go inwards. And I like to see this as someone like, maybe burning that, what do you say, burn the night candle, or I know I'm saying it wrong. I always do. Journaling, taking time out and journaling from your anger. Carve some time out for yourself. That's what you need to do, and work on that anger. And that grief is going to release itself. Like, the grief is stuck here, and because it's stuck because the anger is blocking it. And once you release that anger, because I said it's a block, it's a secondary emotion, there's always grief behind it. The grief will come on its own naturally. It could be sitting in a grocery store one day and it'll come. But usually it'll come in a spot where it's like, okay, if you feel it in the grocery store, okay, it's coming up now, right? And grief can come in little spurts here and there, but you got to get to your anger. Very important this month for you, Aries. So I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. I'm going to give you a playlist on anger, all right? And this is a very important journey, your healing journey, but it's the most important one in your life. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye-bye.